You're booked solid. Podcasts, panels, you're everywhere, but your Stripe account, silent. Visibility feels like progress, but it doesn't grow your business. That's why I created the Visibility Conversion Audit, to show you exactly where your message is breaking down and how to fix it. Now, I've interviewed thousands on global TV and stages across the world and trained hundreds. I know what works. Now, if you're done being visible but overlooked, subscribe to my newsletter. Your message is a filter, not a funnel. A funnel wants to get as many people as possible through to the end. And you don't want that because your system gets clogged up with the wrong people and the wrong opportunities. Instead, you want to filter out the wrong fit and make sure that the right fit goes from cold to sold. Now, the Visibility Conversion Audit is an organised way for you to do this, and it's made up of 3 layers. So you start off with lots of people, and then you want to filter it out so that the right people move on, more of the right people move on to the next layer, more of the blue M&Ms, and then when you get to the final layer, it's only the blue M&Ms because they are your ideal fit. This is the most important part of the filter. It's that moment when someone hears you and thinks, this is exactly what I need. Now, there are 2 specific mistakes you might be making in this connection layer, and you've got to solve both, otherwise nothing works. The first is the matching mistake. This can happen in 2 ways. You only want these getting through the right people, not the others, and you want to make sure that they don't hit a block and leave, because then nothing after that matters. Now, this is a real example. An expert who works with corporate leaders found himself on a discovery call with an Uber driver who wants to start a business. If this is happening to you, how do you fix it?
If you've got an entrepreneur who makes $1 million every single year, every working day is around $4,000, I can charge $2,000 a day for it.
Be brutally specific. You want to attract your ideal client and push everyone else away. Every sentence should answer the question, is this for me? If there's no communication client fit, it's game over. If people getting in touch are not the right fit, fix this mistake first. The second specific mistake within connection is this. You're in the right room, speaking with the right people, but are they leaning in or zoning out? If you're sharing expertise, but they don't care, or, and this is worse, if you're creating confusion about what you do, then the rest of the filtering process doesn't matter. I made this mistake. I wanted to be in service to thank the people who wrote statements of praise for my book. So I offered to host Ask Me Anything About communication sessions for their communities. Sounds like a good idea, but it wasn't. Some people asked about influencing political agendas. Others wanted cross-cultural communication strategies. It meant that I became associated with whatever they needed in that moment, which means that when they have the problem I have a unique handle on solving, helping experts and entrepreneurs turn visibility into clients, they won't think of me. The way you frame what you're speaking about must immediately trigger the pain your ideal client feels, the promise of a solution, and proof that you deliver. Be deliberate and intentional about what you will and will not speak about. For example, if I had framed the Q&A sessions as you're showing up on podcasts, in meetings, but still not getting clients or the results you want, pain. Here's why your message isn't landing and what to do instead, promise. I know because I've interviewed thousands and trained hundreds to laser focus their message so it's not overlooked, cut or dismissed, proof. Those sessions would have been very different. Use direct, vivid language that gets the right people for you sitting up and paying attention. Okay, so those are mistakes 1 and 2. They're in the first layer of the filter because if you don't get this right, nothing else matters. Next, let's go through the middle layer. This layer targets the specific mistakes you make once the right person for you starts paying attention to what you're sharing. It's called the commitment. They hear you, but do they stay with you? If not, you have filter failure. Why is this a problem? Well, if you're not clear and relevant fast, even the right people will check out. You need 3 signals: AAD, repeat rate, and qualifying language. AAD is audience attention duration, how long the right people mentally stay with you and your message. Repeat rate is how often they remember, repeat, or reshare your message. Qualifying language is about speaking in a way that makes the wrong people opt out and the right ones lean in. Low scores on any and your message doesn't register or get the results you're after. This middle part of the filter is all about the right people paying attention for longer. There are 4 specific mistakes you might be making. The first blocker in this part is the value signal. This is the idea that what you're communicating doesn't register as valuable because it's not interesting, useful, or relevant to your ideal client. Now, this matters a lot because 3 to 5 seconds in, the right person for you will decide whether what you're sharing, what you're communicating, is relevant to them, whether they should pay attention. And 7 to 10 seconds in, they decide whether what you're sharing is useful and whether you're still worth listening to. You see, people's brains are so busy that they're not going to spend effort or longer than, say, 10 seconds to figure you out. So if you're getting in front of the right people but they're not taking the next step towards you, you need to look at the quality of what you're communicating, the idea and that value that you want to embed in their mind. The best way to do this is to pressure test what you're sharing across 3 core elements: edge, tactical value, distinctiveness, and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Is what you're saying sharp, memorable? Does it shift thinking? What's your edge? How valuable is what you're sharing? Can they do something with it today? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how distinct and different is the idea and information you're communicating? Does this feel like something only you could say? If it doesn't hit all 3, it gets ignored, which is why coming up with better ideas and ways of sharing what you know is so important. Here's a tip. Look at what works in your space, what others are doing that gets traction, and add your take. Don't reinvent the wheel. Leverage what works. I'll share how you can do this fast in another video. If you've got a great idea, then the next mistake is to fix your hook. Your idea is solid. The right person for you is paying attention, but your intro doesn't grab them. Great hooks are built on context and contrast. You give people the context of what you'll be sharing, tying it to their pain, so they can decide whether it's relevant to them. I did this with "You're booked solid," podcasts, panels, you're everywhere, but your Stripe account, silent. Say what they already believe and link it to something that's the opposite, like visibility feels like progress, but it's a trap if it doesn't grow your business. Shake assumptions. Contrast makes points stick. Curiosity makes people stay for the next line. If your ideal client has made it this far but still doesn't take the next step towards you, then it could be a clarity problem. Does the right person for you understand what you're saying? Do they get it? You want them to feel smart. To find out if you're making this mistake, get someone to listen to what you say and ask them to share what the big idea was. If they can't repeat your point after hearing it once, it's not clear enough. You fix this by simplifying ideas and language. Use your client's words, remove jargon, use active voice, short sentences, and make sure you're not making this mistake. It's not that people are bored. You solved for that by coming up with a great idea, match, frame. It's that your time to value is too long. Your delivery is too slow. The value comes too late. People get bored and switch off. Think value, value, value. What does the right person for you get from every single thing you share? You want your time to impact and value to be compressed. Get to the point. Be dynamic. Cut more words. Okay, we've moved all the way to the end of the filter. You got the attention of the right person for you, they're hooked, you're not boring, and they stayed till the end. Now, if you want to get results, they need to take the next step towards you. And if they share and repeat what you say, wow, it's a sign that they're not just listening, they are converted. Now, there are 3 mistakes that you might be making in this third and final layer of the filter. This matters more than you think. People don't share information, they share power moments, a line, a shift, a light bulb aha. Ask yourself, what's your mic drop line? What will they quote later? If you don't know it, they won't. I have a general catchphrase. Communication is currency. It's the currency that builds all success. But I also craft one to fit the moment. For this video, it can be visibility doesn't equal income, or visibility is a trap if you're not filtering right. If you're not clear about what your ideal client gains and state it in a simple way, they won't get it and they won't share it. To make sure you're not making this mistake, ask yourself, what's the tactical win the right person for you takes away? What catchphrase will they repeat? This isn't an afterthought. I get clients to define it and bake it into what they want to communicate at the very beginning. It guides and defines what they share. Now, the next mistake you could be making is the close. You want to end strong, always. Don't fade away. If you want results, tell the right fit person exactly what to do next. It sounds obvious, but so many experts get to the end of their answer, their talk, their moment, and the close just fizzles out, flat and forgotten. Fix this by ending with a directive. If this is you, let's talk. If this is what you need, book a call. Train your audience to connect your voice with action. Give them one thing to do, make it clear, and make it easy. You're at the end of the filter. You've said something great, but will they remember it came from you? This is the moment your communication becomes ownable, becomes yours. If you want to be remembered and associated with value, name your process, label your insight, brand your brilliance. For example, I created the word tree. I teach the difference between yes-led and expert-led communication. What sticks isn't just the idea, it's the way I have packaged it. It puts you in a category of one. It could be your visual style, frameworks, signature phrases or language that you use. Now, this is last in the filter because if you haven't solved the earlier blockers, this part won't matter. No one will get here. But if you have and you want next level traction, your signature style is it. Remember, your ideal clients don't just need to hear you, they need to remember you, choose you, repeat you. Because who gets the results? The person with the brilliant idea or the one who is a brilliant communicator? You know the answer. Subscribe to my newsletter for tactical, no-fluff communication strategies, and if you are ready to master how you communicate, watch this video next.